will be successful only when it has an impact on the society. Only when your research from the lab goes to the field and the people are able to has facilitated precision agriculture. Precision agriculture will always help in high yield, better resource management, and better water management particularly, enabling farmers to monitor crop health, optimize irrigation, and enhance productivity, thereby contributing to food security and increasing the livelihood options of rural people, thereby boosting the rural economy, which contributes a major part to our India's GDP. Natural resource mapping is also a spin-off of this space technology. Space technology has been pivotal in mapping land resources. India has a lot of land issues. As long as a piece of land doesn't have much value, there is no dispute on it. Not residential areas, agricultural areas, government possessed lands, so that these lands for better purposes. Soil characterization, I have already told how we have, analyzed the soil of a particular region and suggested crops which are best suited for that region. And water resource management through the information data we have built check dams and watershed management programs have thrived over a period of last 15 years using these resources and data. This also aids in informed decision making for sustainable agricultural practices and particularly resource management, not only water, even efficient use of land, efficient use of pesticides, all this are governed under this. Disaster is something which is not man-made. Sometimes nature shows its fury without a war. But human beings' resilience lies in, expecting those things. We are well prepared now. Early warning systems based on scientific data has boosted our disaster resilience. You won't believe the fishermen in the fishery line going for deep sea fishing have a small equipment through which they get information about cyclones and high speed winds so that they can return back to their space, station, return back to their landing place early in time to avoid loss of material and life. These disaster resilience systems based on the space data provide timely alerts to flood, drought, and cyclones. This minimizes agricultural losses and safeguards livelihoods of people. More than everything, the human values, human life is being protected by this. Climate monitoring analysis satellite observation has provided crucial data for climate monitoring, weather forecasting, environmental impact assessment, thereby supporting climate research, disaster risk reduction, and sustainable development. The government of India has included a new supercomputer to be department which is monitoring our climate, which is forecasting our climate weather daily. So we will be able to now have a better information on the better focus on our weather climate. Regarding biodiversity, India has a wide range of biodiversity, but we have to map it and then we have to facilitate these people who are doing research on our biodiversity data. We have to monitor habitats and we can also assess the ecological impacts contributing to conservation efforts and ecosystem management and wildlife protection particularly can use this data. Pollution control and urban planning, you won't believe the problem, particularly when you live in Delhi. If you have come from a very remote or rural area and if you have recently shifted to Delhi, you can understand how much your lung is crying for a fresh air and pollution-free environment. So the statutory measures have facilitated pollution monitoring and urban planning. Recent times, we are used to a phenomena where building constructions are banned, pollution creating activities are banned. These are based on these separate imaginary data. And natural resource conservation is, a byproduct of our data center management, enabling evidence-based policies for pollution control, sustainable urban development, and ecological restoration. These are some of the spin-offs of the spatial data. Regarding education and skill development, STEM education and outreach programs are inspiring students and educators through space science programs. Astronomical clubs are established all over India, and educational satellite products are nurturing scientific curiosity and innovation. Let me tell you some of the programs which Vidya has and Department of Science and Technology has for this kind of STEM outreach program. In Vidya we have provided telescopes to lot of schools, government schools and colleges, through which the students of those schools can be sensitized regularly on astronomical events, astronomical activities, and these students can use as this, Mr. The one who spoke before me has told. You know, this is a rare resource which has to be shared by the schools and colleges with the common public and students so that they can nurture the interest in astronomy and space sciences. Apart from this, we have astronomical societies all over the country and we have memberships and these societies propose events. We keep conducting events like the National Nose Ceremony. We keep creating awareness on the solar and lunar space has been limited to government initiatives. These government initiatives are restricted to ISRO or astronomical institutions. But that will not suffice because unless you build a capacity of human resources who can train, there should be some kind of trainer or trainer programs which can spill over to other smaller rural areas or urban centers from where children can get lot of information about the technology. So human entrepreneurship and skill enhancement is also a spin-off of the space industry. It provides skill development, recruitment, technology innovation, fostering a culture of research and development, contributing to economic growth and technological self-reliance and awareness among the youth of the country. So youth engagement and inspiration programs have outreach activities and engage youth in scientific pursuit, career exploration and space internship through fostering a new generation of space enthusiasts and innovators, and we have more such in our future. So satellite internet and connectivity advancement in science in this area have reduced digital connectivity, bridging the urban-rural divide and enabling universal access to high-speed internet and digital services. In most remote part of India, where electricity has not reached, mobile phone has reached. People earlier were economic development has been a spin-off of this connectivity. In rural areas, people who have lean season and who could not work during period when there is no agricultural activity, now they migrate to the nearby urban areas because they have a connectivity with their family back home. They can call us in case of emergency, the family which is left behind. This has revolutionized the kind of employment scenario in the country. Smart agriculture and integration of space technology with IoT and precision agriculture set to enhance agricultural productivity, which I have explained already. Resource efficiency, farming practices, and food security has increased over a period of time. Interplanetary mission and space telescopes and space science research is supposed to unlock new frontiers to the create knowledge, cosmic exploration, and scientific discovery through research and collaboration. Science Space debris management is a big challenge. As of today, we are doing the space activities in a smaller scale. So, as of today, it may not have a big significant influence on the environment. But over a period of time, when all our activities increase, when we open up to the new space policy, when we open up the activities for public-private partnership area, in it being more, then we may have to manage the space vehicles and we have to, ensure sustainable and safe trading practices in the space. With this, in space diplomacy and global governance will also increase. Ethical consideration and space security will also increase through the new space policy. Thank you very much. Now I'm ready to start the panel discussion.
Yes.
I hope this information was useful for the students who are connected with.
Sure, yes, ma'am. We are truly grateful for your insightful remarks. At the Joint Secretary, your leadership is instrumental in guiding the Department of Science and Technology towards new achievements. And we are confident that your vision will inspire the development of innovative strategies to advance space science technology on the Department. Now, coming back to the discussion, Mr. Kupusami, the founder of Brahmastra Aerospace System, with the context of the previous session, hello, am I audible? Yeah.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Yes, yes. So I'll just repeat. So Mr. Kupusami, the founder of Brahmastra Aerospace System, with the context of the views shared by ma'am, what do you think about the celebration of National Space Day and how it can inspire young minds to pursue their careers in space sciences and technology?
Very good morning and thank you for the question. Good morning, ma'am. I'm Shivaraj. People to some from South India. And as a still myself, this perspective about astronomy, mine is different. I came from an aerospace background. I started my life as an intern in HL where aircrafts, it is not aircraft, it's warcrafts are made. Right. So from there I started to love towards the space. I wanted to make machines that go to space. That's how I started. Right. So this National Space Day, which is I wonder about the best like they usually celebrate. Why are we not celebrating? And this is the right day we are starting. This is the first day we are starting. This makes the government, the students, the enthusiasts, the industry, the technocrats, bureaucrats, everyone on the same platform to make sure we are going towards the antariksh. Right. And yes, I feel so happy that everyone on the right platform so that we are going on the right path. That's it.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kusami. And along with this, I just need to know, in your opinion, how can educational initiatives across India be strengthened to keep pace with the rapid advancement in the aerospace sector or in the space sector, depending upon your background and stuff?
Yes, it is a cross funneling thing. We have to do the things side by side. We are on the track of space privatization, which has we have workers. Right. In terms of spacecraft, we are open the ISR's data access, like in order to process the weather monitoring, weather forecasting, and then the land side things. All these things are monitored by you. So now you can monitor through the raw data can be accessed by the private space sector development, but the statics has to come up, right? So these things now we have to work on the school level, we have to work on the college level, so that the skills are addressed and this once the skills are addressed, it has to address the policy and the initiatives taken by the government. So one is all aligned at the same time, we are heading towards boom.
Okay, so we are grateful for the clarity and depth of understanding you have brought to this topic. Thank you so much. It was very incredibly enriching. So, someone who has made significant contribution to global astronomical research, yes, I'm talking about Dr. Miller. So, Dr. Miller, so my next discussion is with you, Vidya. We just need to know, our audience need to know, how do you view India's recent achievement, such as the Chandrayaan 3 mission, in the context of the global space exploration landscape?
I think it's very exciting what's happening, particularly some of the discoveries that have been made recently from the lunar South Pole by your spacecraft landing on the surface. I started in astronomy many years ago, at the time of Sputnik in 1957, when I became interested in astronomy. The Russians launched the first satellite into space, almost before the United States did. And I remember going to the local drive-in movie theater and watching Sputnik and some of those early satellites flashing overhead. And after you walk outside and look, you see them every few minutes. Or if you see a Starlink, you see them by the hundreds. So the work that India is doing in what was described here about the privatization of space is going to provide a revolution in the industrialization of space. Utilizing space for commercial purposes, including recreational purposes. We see a little bit of that now with non-astronauts going up and on spacecraft to the edge of space. Pretty soon they'll go up and go in orbit around space and probably be staying in hotels and recreational facilities that are built specifically for that purpose. So I think that the work that India is doing, the work that China is doing, the work that the other nations around the world have been doing, will play a pivotal role in the privatization of space and our expansion and understanding of the solar system.
Okay. So we sincerely appreciate the valuable insights you have provided, Dr. Miller. So we also need to know, as being the director of International Astronomical Research Collaboration, how important do you think such partnerships are for India's continued growth and success in space sciences, Dr. Miller?
Well, the International Astronomical Research Collaboration, which we call ISAC, is a program that reaches over 10,000 schools in something like 180 countries. That represents about 70,000 students who participate. And what they're doing, and this is also true with the program that was sponsored through Rutgers Space, is that they are searching for and making regional asteroid discoveries using data provided by some of the sky survey telescopes around the world. In particular, the ones located at the University of Hawaii, Pan-STARRS 1 and Pan-STARRS 2. When space goes out, and I think you're now at something like 1,000, 2,000 schools a year, that's an incredible achievement. And when you go out and you train the children to participate in this program, and then they come in and actually make these discoveries, that inspires them to learn more about astronomy. It inspires them to want to make these discoveries. And in fact, there have been many discoveries made, and some asteroids that have been identified and numbered by students from India because of their involvement with space. So that's how I see this part of STEM, and that's how I see that involvement precipitating throughout your country and managed by your organization, which does a fantastic job of organizing those annual search campaigns.
Yes. Thank you so much, sir. Your unique viewpoint of view offered a greatly hands-on conversation today. Thanks a lot, much appreciated. So, coming to Mr. Palikonda, the Vice President of Business Development at Skyroot Aerospace. So, it's just on the basis of the recent scenario that happened. Could you provide us with an overview of what happened during Sunita Williams' recent mission that led to her being stuck in space? So could you kindly let us know that what exactly happened and how did the ground control and mission team manage the situation? So we just want in our audience just want that little insight about this. Mr. Balvantray, you there?
I was on mute.
Yeah.
So, good morning, Conductor Ma'am and Dr. Sachin and Mr. Patrick and the rest of the other panelists and the audience. And indeed, thank you very much to be part of this particular program, the first National Space Day, what we are celebrating. And I represent Skywood Aerospace, and Skywood is one of the leading private space launch industries from India, and we are developing the launch vehicles with a vision of opening space for all. So we name our launch vehicle as Vikram, named after Dr. Vikram Sarabhai. So this Vikram series of launch vehicles can carry payloads from 200 kilograms up to 1 ton. And indeed, we are one of the first companies from the entire Asia Pacific to launch a rocket in space, and that we achieved with our Vikram X rocket launch vehicle in 2022. And we stationed in Hyderabad with our headquarters and other 5 facilities in Hyderabad, and with more than 300 people, and so far raised $100 million in capital. And we are actively recruiting people for our future missions, and we are moving towards our orbital launch towards the end of this year or the early next year. So this will be going to 500 kilometers of altitude, and it's a commercial launch with several customers on board. Okay, so yeah, that being the brief context of where I'm coming from. Also, would like to let all the audience know that as we are actively recruiting, if somebody is interested, they can apply to this current. And now, getting back to the question, like cynical Indians being stuck in space. Okay. So yeah, first of all, like being in space for such a long time will have several implications on the physiology of what we have, and it is very unfortunate. Like the going capsule is stuck there. However, like we need to understand the alternative ways how we can bring her back. But even if we see the recent right. What he mentioned is like it is the happiest place for Sunita to be there for some time, and it is safest place. Nothing to worry. Even before this also there was who have been there for more than a year. Okay. So there is nothing alarming or concerning as we read everything on the media. Okay. And apart from ground stations and other things, probably I would not be the right person to speak on. Okay. So I leave to the panel members.
Yes, so we have Dr. Sachin Bhawan to share few of his, insight related to the questions. Sachin Bhawan, sir, can you
I do not want to answer the question. You are wonderfully answered by Suresh. I would rather ask a question to Suresh. Suresh, you are one of the organization who is pride of India now. Having the first startup, making Skyroad and making a rocket and launching it a dream from group or any child. And I know since I still at 50, I feel like a child, so you must be kind of so happy about what is going on. So I just wanted to know how was your journey about? How did it all start? How did you think about it? And what future do you see for other players who want to actually come into development of rockets? Is there a possibility? What are the possible things that can be done? And I have just 2 specific requests. One is, give some space to our kids. They would like to fly something in skyrocket. We can do a competition kind of thing, and little bit of payloads can be taken by the rockets for school students. I would love to have that opportunity from you. And second is that whenever you launch, I would love to be part of the people in the audience gallery. You can set it right. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, Sachin, for that question. So, to speak about our journey. We started in 2018. So we are quite an young company. It is just 6 years that we started. And the founders of Strategic Aerospace are Bhawan and Bhawan. Both of them were previously scientists at ISRO, and they have come out of ISRO and started Strategic Aerospace. And today we are okay with the launch and coming up with an orbital launch. So one of the challenges, like for any startup, if you see, there will be three major things. One is the technology, the second one is the regulation, the policy has to there, and the third one is the finances. But fortunately, in India, like any space startup, ISRO has established significant infrastructure. So, one of the reasons for us to be in Hyderabad is, most of the components for the launch vehicles are being developed in Hyderabad. And also, we have so many DRDO labs and everything. So, the test facilities and everything are available. So, being a startup, we need not develop everything from scratch, but we can utilize the facilities which are already existing. So that comes as a plus point. And the vendor ecosystem which has been developed by the ISRO for the last 60, 70 years was really helpful for us. And they've been quite pivoted in our journey so far. And next, coming to funding, okay, no investor is not feel very confident or secure if there is no policy in place. But when we started, there was no policy in 2018. But however, with the leap of faith, investors has taken the step. And also, our initial investors, you see, they also have to take a common vision. And definitely I know about space. Space is indeed one of the oldest, institution in the entire space sector from India. And, forget about the sustainability, but how you guys have really survived is quite commendable. And, for a sector such as this, investors coming without any regulation or the policy is just quite difficult. And we are fortunate enough that the government has come up with a policy
Students in the library,
and also
can you
established
please take care of
in
it?
space. Now in space it is becoming the regulatory authority. They are supporting on several aspects of it. And one of the most important things is ISRO being very open about it and welcoming the startups and encouraging the development of them by opening their infrastructure and also the technology. Now ISRO is offering a lot of its technology, including the launch vehicles and the satellites for the startups. Okay. Startups can use the technology and develop the whole thing. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. We can just accelerate the whole process and we can commercialize it. And also we as a non-profit company, we currently enter test facilities on the launch pad from ISRO. And having this policy coming into place, it has infused quite a lot of confidence into the investors, and that really helps not only us but many other startups. If we see the last year, the Indian space ecosystem has raised something like $150 million. That is quite significant, and also we have more than 250 startups already registered with in space and which are very active. So I can confidently say that we are going in the right direction, but that is not enough. There needs to be more companies which have to come up, and there is lot of demand. Okay, with respect to launch vehicles, we just don't need to see the existing market. What I mean to say is, if we look into the roadmap of India, by 2040 we want to put a human being on the moon. Okay. If that needs to be done, there needs to be a lot of access to space is required. And it's not just India, but it is Europe, US, and everyone is doing it. And what about the rest of the world? Even they need access to space, and it has to be done through somebody. And we establish them as an the front players. We can definitely use this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and the impactful observations you have made. Much appreciated. Thanks a lot. So coming to Dr. Nara, scientist F evolution head of publication information system at Vidya Prasad. Sir, my next discussion, this discussion is with you only, and I also want to know that reflecting on your work at Vidya Prasad, how do you envision the role of science communication evolving in India, particularly in the context of promoting space science and technology?
Okay. Say we have touched the moon, we have interplanetary mission, maybe in near future we will also have a big space mission, and all these while touching lives. It's very important to understand the role of the people in development of anything relating to space technology as well. See, appreciation of science in general is required for the whole nation to come up to a certain stage. And this appreciation for science starts at very, very early stage. At maybe a middle school level, at high school level, how you are taking science so that you have the aspiration to be part of a national goal. So there are ways and means to do this. See, for example, for middle school and for senior secondary schools, it is not only that curricular based, it's an everyday incremental model of doing things hands-on. Apart from that, you need events, success stories, events like successful landing, soft landing or Chandrayaan-3, events like maybe eclipses. These are those catalytic events, which is important to take to the masses and involve students in those events. Otherwise, it is everyday, curriculum, everyday's, laboratories, and everyday's, work which goes on. But whenever you are able to capture those, times and events very successfully, you get hold of those, minds which who are very curious, but at the same time, they know their involvement and what they can achieve with that. For that, the workshops, conferences, seminars, apart from that, you have to have hands-on experiments, you have to have means and modes to do that and to reach out to the people. As Dhanlakshmi ma'am already said that, the schools, if they have, astronomy clubs, if they have a small telescope even, you can build up those activities around those events. Maybe a space event, maybe successful launch of satellite. All these events can be, capture the minds of the students who are bright enough and want to take part of this. Space is a very big, event. It's you need different kinds of expertise in that. So even if it's a space technology, unless you have a mindset of, knowing that, domain expertise, you have domain expertise, only talking about space science or space, research, you're not going to take, you're not going to part of that. You'll be only the end user of that. But what do we need? We need more bright minds to come up with a definitive idea of contributing to this space science. You are mute, I think. I'm not able to hear you. Neha, you are mute.
Yes, I'm really sorry, sir. Sorry for that. So, we are fortunate to have had the opportunity to learn from your experiences and insight. Along with this, given your experience, in developing innovative science experiments, what do you believe are the most effective ways to engage students in space science education and inspire the next generation of Indian scientists?
Initial period of my initial period, I was engaged in data acquisition system. Like that data acquisition system is actually you are taking data from the environment, different sensors, and taking action on that based on that. It's for development of different projects and boundary projects. In fact, I visited two science centers also, and interacted with scientists. See, if you see the pattern which K plus 12, K plus 2 standard in other countries, in developed countries, they do have these data loggers. They give it to the students, and they do, collect data and analyze data, which I have not seen many cases which is in used here. what I am trying to tell that you need to understand that if a rocket is going or a space shuttle is going, it depends on many external factors. So you have to have the sensors and you take decision. So once we give that kind of approach, once we are able to show something like it, like a kind of a data logger, where students are able to use it, they are seeing the data and analyzing the data and taking a feedback and giving a feedback controller, maybe based on something, maybe temperature is increasing and you are shutting off a motor. This kind of feedback things, it works wonder. If the students is able to perform those, it's not always robotics. It's not. I've seen, it's being done in many schools. They do the robot control things, which is, only one-way communication. It's not two-way communication all the time. But and it's not many data. It's not multiplicity of data. You have to have parallel, at least 8 channels data to work on, which is very simple. Which, even if it is looking like a very complex system of having 8 channels data and analyzing it and coming up with the feedback mechanism, actually it's very simple. Bernie is having that system. Even we began this one with the system where 8 channels data was developed. We have to have the data from different sensors and taking decision based on that and being a feedback system. And this technology was transferred to Trinity Microsystems. In fact, 5 of the IITs they have that data controllers and they did many field trials in students. So what I'm trying to tell, this kind of activities should be more predominant. Very definitive things to go to the schools, colleges, and science centers, space centers, space clubs to have an understanding of how to work and ultimately that that can to continue go to the further research in space science and further R&D research and development.
Okay, thank you, sir, for making the discussion so rewarding. It was so insightful and we much appreciate it. So, coming to Professor Chakraborty, the director of the Indian Center for Space Physics. So, we just want to know that you were the first scientist to suggest that gamma ray bursts are the birth cry of black holes way back in 1995. So, what was the reception to your suggestions back then? And did it change in 2013 when scientists observed conclusive evidence of this? So, we really need insight related to this. Mr. Sandeep Kumar Chakraborty, so you are on mute. Hello, sir, you there? Okay, so I guess might be sir is having some technical glitch. So we just carry forward the discussion and Dr. Rituna will not pass the question, but I hope if you can have some answers related to that, to the questions of futuristic plans and goals of the students related to the same thing like experience developing innovative science experiments. And along with that, what is your, idea of celebrating National Space Day? So, what are your thoughts on the impact of such, observations of the fostering a scientific temperament among the youth? And how can we leverage these occasions to further science education and awareness?
Yeah, before I answer, I can see ma'am,
and we can see.
I'll take up definitely your question, but
No problem.
what she wants to share.
Yes, and meanwhile, I can see Sandeep Kumar Chakraborty is also with us. So you are on mute, sir. We just request you to please unmute yourself. Dr. Sandeep, sir. Professor Chakraborty. Okay, so Dhanalakshmi ma'am, coming to you. I guess you might say something.
not giving his answer before me because I'm just going to add on regarding involving children from inspiring children in the future of space and astronomy. Like last year, we had a festival called India International Science Festival. Every year we used to create a Guinness Book of Record, but last year we took a conscious decision. Instead of somebody else validating our technologies and our initiative,
Hello.
create our own records. Yeah.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes.
To finish before I should go.
Yes, Sandeep, sir, you are audible, sir. So just after Thanujni, ma'am, we are coming to you because ma'am is just in between the information that she need to pass on to the audience. Yes.
We have an annual festival called India Indonesia Science Festival, which will be conducted in the month of October this year. So last year it was in the month of Jan. So what we do, we have created our own challenge. Instead of going to Guinness Book of Records, we have created an IAS challenge. And last year, we gathered around 50 children from various schools. I think 500 children from various schools. We gave them a kit with those kids and a supervised assistance from the senior scientists, they developed small model satellites and they launched it themselves. And these satellites went up the sky and they sent data about the Earth. So by doing this, we have created a lot of interest in the children and we have given them, a small model to handle, which will make them, more comfortable and convenient in, furthering their interest in this technology. Apart from that, for the college going students, engineering or whatever, degree or undergraduate or postgraduate students, we created IAS challenge. Each challenge, we gave them we put them in a comfortable accommodation for 36 hours continuously. And we gave them six challenge questions on space data. And we requested them to find solutions to these problems. Within that 36 hours, it was a marathon, continuous, without any break. We were not allowed to come out of the area. We were providing all the facilities required for them to stay within that space for 36 hours, but concentrate only on problem solving regarding space technology. And you won't believe, some of the solutions which they brought up are much beyond the reach of our regular scientists, space science. Because young mind has lot of innovation. And when you have a small, push-ups, when you give them a small initiative or help from the department, they come out with so much innovative solutions which are far beyond the reach of regular scientists because they have a straightforward, straight-jacket approach to issues. But these innovators have variety of approaches. And these are the two information which I would like to pass.
Yeah.
And I would like to add that the new space policy is emphasizing on public-private partnership. So all these small organizations who are struggling for application or who are budding, aspiring space startups, they get a lot of boost now. With this, I think.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot, ma'am, for your insightful perspective to the discussion. Now, coming to Professor Chakraborty, sir, the director of the Indian Center for Space Physics. So, sir, I'll continue my discussion with the same question that you were the first scientist to suggest that gamma ray was birth prior to black holes way back in 1995. So, what was the reception to your suggestion back then, and did it change in 2013 when scientists observed conclusive evidence of this?
Okay, let me tell you something that about my background. It's not that we only covered bars, but I have been working on the black hole acquisition through DNA, molecular formation during the star formation, etc. And all of them are cited last 40 years. And I am sorry to say that most of the citations are mostly from people outside India, because the Indian people's framework or the mindset is still a little bit different. Now I come to a little bit straightforward in the fact that my education from India as well as abroad is I am very much blessed that I got first class pass in the university, and then of course I went to the University of Chicago, then Caltech, NASA, Goddard I worked, and I worked at the DST Institute in the US, and then ultimately in 1999 during the process I created a new institute, Indian Center for Space Physics, of which I am the director. And this institute, Indian Center for Space Physics, has its own space program. We have already sent
stratospheric balloons for 114 times. We have sent payloads, and those payloads get data, and the people are writing PhD theses on those data, our own data. We did not register yet to use fake or got any money or took any money from institutes of work. So our experience is really different from the rest of the people. Now, one of the things that I wanted to get attention about what the students should do, that they should first think about fundamental four pillars of science. If they really want to contribute to anything, they will have to learn mathematical physics, solid physics, electromagnetics, and classical mechanics, and cover to cover. I myself never went to a private tutor or cover to cover, and that was the secret why I ended up, supervising 60 PhD students who are now faculties in PIFR, in IISc, and even in ISRO, half a dozen of them. So why I'm taking this is that making payloads, startups, and all those things are very fine at a very young age. But if the fundamentals are not strong, you won't be able to create a contribution which is above average. Okay, it will be number will go up, but you will not be visible from far. Okay, so India is doing a lot of things. DST, we have heard that DST has spent a lot of money, but in our case, entire world actually are using our citation, as you know that Stanford University list and it almost has to be every year. So obviously citation is very large. But this citation index is 57, which is also the highest in India. And the point remains that the mindset, the fact that in many of the institutions there is a new system for product, and what guru knows it, the purpose is to student, and the student becomes the faculty, and faculty and they have no student, he becomes the faculty. So that way, the opening of new ideas, anybody coming up with brand new ideas, I'm not willing. This I get seen from my own experience. One of the reasons why I founded this institute is that nobody can stop me from going to space or even to make a rocket. We have already tested rockets which are successful, and we will also have launch pad someday. But the point is very important that trying to think independently, trying to stay strong independent of what your innocence may be lost at your very early age. You may be thinking that what that appreciate that you will become an astronaut, which is absolute nonsense. I don't want to talk negative, but remember that entire mankind, we have only sent 12 people to the moon so far. We have 8 billion people on the earth, and last 60 years ago, only 12 people went, that's it. So it is not don't go beyond practical think a dreams, what is achievable, what is doable, and stay within the parameters so that you don't get excited, your innocence is not lost, So that way, you get negative things all the time. A lot of people feel insecure. Most people will feel insecure because if somebody comes with an idea, they have to appreciate it, they have to make a place for you, and that place which I his place. So all he becomes his Bharata's place. So I am saying that India has a long way to go. Mindset has to be changed. That's a different discussion. We can now debate. But my feeling is that we are quite successful. We are the first startup in India private sector, 1999. We are this year we are celebrating silver jubilee, and at the same time we are already seeing 140 times. We are happy creating our own unit with our 200 kilometers from here. We are the largest optical telescope in Eastern India. But again, we are doing it quietly, and there are funds always. That India is not poor country. You are really an honest people, people will give funds to you. And so I suggest that people should do their fundamentals. They should know what they are going to do. They should have conviction, and they should just go ahead independent of what government organization, whether they support or don't support, doesn't matter. Okay, so I am not very optimistic at the time. Right? This situation has become better after Chandrayaan landing, but then it may be that we are wrong. The kids are getting highly excited, and we don't have so many takers. In the long run, we have too many private sectors who are going to send satellites to space. Do we want to send any of them to this space? Are we going to make it crowded? already there are 10,000 satellites, 4,000 reactive, 6,000 are very non-active. We have to remove them. So I am not very optimistic yet, but I am very happy that the India is progressing in the right direction and my destiny is low.
Okay, thank you so much, Chakravarti ji. Now, I guess Dr. Sachin Kama wants to share something over the view shared by Dr. Chakravarti. Over to you,
Yeah.
Sachin Kama, sir.
Yeah, hi, Professor Sundri. So, I just wanted to add something to what you have been saying. At the end, I would like to request you to change your perspective about India completely because I can understand your frustration where it is coming from because, in space education sector, I also felt for a very long time that there was no help. But I can assure you the kind of changes that are coming through this. So I'll answer both. I'll have a very different perspective of what you have. There is a complete structure available now. India did not have a space policy. As an individual player, it is not possible for me or you to have a space launching system because states are responsible for private individual actions for a particular mission. But if you talk to ISRO and in space now, it is a complete supportive environment. Think where India we always have regulatory authorities to tell you not to do this. So now there is a regulatory authority which not only holds your hand to whatever you want to do, but also creates possibility. You just go and request, you tell them you want to do this, and they will always be of supportive, not only just to people who are known or who are young, but to organizations like you and me, there is complete support available, and it has changed my mind completely. So I would request that just reach out, and you will find that whatever dreams or whatever possibilities you have for your students and for your institution, it will be highly supported by ISRO in space. And I have seen a complete change in perspective in the past 4 or 5 years as soon as this policy has come. The other point that you said that igniting young minds and making them too demanding is a negative thing that can happen to a society. And you quoted that there are only 12 people who have gone on moon, another 16 who have gone on moon. So I would say that people really do not want to go to moon. It is the opportunity that space sector offers. Even traveling in space, being space travelers, or maybe going to international space station, doing their experiments while being on Earth is a huge possibility now. Skyroot has just recently signed an agreement with school students, where they can send their payload. So private sectors are coming up, opportunities are opening up, and I'm sure with the kind of facilities that you have, there's a lot of possibility for students to actually work with your PhD level students in sending their payloads to the stratosphere using your balloon launching permissions and facilities. So I think this is a collaborative thing coming up. And on a national space day, the best thing would be that, we start believing in the system that we have all brought to this change. And I'm sure you are one of the pioneers and instrument people who have actually initiated these thoughts into the young minds and young people who are now at policy making. And e-space and the space policy that we have is a wonderful initiative already have. So nice to have your ideas, and this is what I wanted to say.
Thank you so much. Coming to you,
No,
please.
he would like to say something.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, I am not frustrated. Quite the contrary, I like that the standard of science itself to be much higher at the level of NASA or Chinese agency or JAXA, something like that. You can produce infinite number of things at the ground grassroots level. But if your board, suppose you want to make a science policy of 2024-47, your goal should be that we want to produce 4 Nobel laureates. That's the first policy. Now to do that, what would the vision? Now will vision of this vision be created by people who will sitting in the agency or the prime minister's office? The agency, if you give it to the agency that you make your own goal and reach there, they will clearly the goal at such a low level, they can achieve and get the accolade. But if you make it totally independent, unbiased, and raise the standard and keep them shut down in a room for a month. So why you come out with a recommendation and all the agencies are bound to listen to you. So choose the people who are competent, who have done science and raise the level. Today, nobody talks about the fact that we have no Nobel laureates, no great researchers or academic team from international. So first talk about, when you talk about the science vision, let us talk about, start with that. The let us have within 25 years, we have goal is to have to. I will tell you James Webb Telescope in PI, James John Mather. When I am, he was my colleague at NASA. When I am inviting him to India, he said, no, I am not going to India till I launch this James Webb. In fact, I can tell you, he will produce at least a half a dozen more laureates. So that is the motivation, the quality, the standard. India always worried about the heritage. They want to preserve the heritage and implement is very slow. But other places they want to take risk and their risk is off. It is not that we are spending less money than NASA in terms of GDP. We are spending 0.4% of GDP. NASA is also spending 0.4% of GDP. So, issue the standard of science must be raised. Of course, the number of people is very large, the number of people will become large. That's not a problem. Problem is how to raise the standard, the goal, where we must reach to the, let us say, under 25.
I think we can have a separate discussion. I would request all members to have a discussion on this later on. I think that would be the best way of changing the minds of each other. And we appreciate your points, sir, and it will be very well taken. Thank you.
Yeah, so I guess Dr. Vidya and Dr. Kupusami also want to share their views. I guess we need to carry forward the same, or you need to share your insight, the same discussion which is going on.
Yes. So, Sandeep Kumar sir, I accept your whole perspective 25 years back. Sir. Now we are on track. Now the private partnership and the public partnership and the government, we are all on the same page and we are working towards what you are speaking. So we are already started. We already started to launch our private space agencies. Like Skyview has launched their first rocket, right? And then the partnership from Chennai has already done their maiden launch. We are on the track, sir. Right? Like, so it is. You are saying that we are not USA, we are India. We need heritage. We need heritage plus science. That's how we are born. That's how we are. That's how we want to do. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I agree with his point also. He's talking about
Yes, sir.
and putting knowledge. So we are talking about, we both are talking about engineering and the possibilities that are come up. So these are two different point of view. So well taken. Yeah, thank you.
Dr. Vidya, you want to share something?
Right. See, I would like to reiterate here the theme of National Space Day. You see, it starts with touching lives before we actually touch moon. So when it is touching lives, we need to see the stakeholders. Who are the stakeholders? If we say that with this national space policy, there is a group of stakeholders who will be there with the startups, who will be in the whole ecosystem, which will be supporting and building this R&D and for the development, for the launching of rockets and satellites. Great deal of space economy is concerned, and you have a payload. We have the capabilities of having higher taking payloads, and that's definitely is going to contribute to the space economy. Apart from that, they say the startups. Apart from that, what is more important is the stakeholders who are the common people, the general public. So we need to understand the aspiration of public to understand the space exploration. See, space exploration cannot be done only because we want to go deep space or we want to go for a interplanetary mission. Of course, that's one of the important requirements because we have the capability of having those, interplanetary missions. But it's important that we need to understand the aspiration and linking. Unless we link up, unless we have a greater understanding of science and aspiration for that, to be a part of that journey, it is going to be, one point agenda only, which is not, fortunately, which is not. Our case is much more stronger. We first build up our case. If you see, Balvantray ma'am's presentation, it was all about the space exploration, about the people. It's a farming, it's a weather forecasting, It is a mitigation of the natural resource disasters. So we have already touched upon those lives. It's not that our space exploration is based on our only to show our ability to go to interplanetary mission. No, we have not done it. Maybe NASA might have done it, but still they have their public perception of it, getting into this the fact whether we should go to Saturn and whether we should send another mission to Jupiter. India has done it. We have started with this, launching of satellites. First, we did launching of satellites for communication purpose. Then we have done for surveillance purposes. We have the geostationary satellites, we have the polar satellites, we have the ability to launch multiple satellites at a time, and that's what is a space economic concept. And now we have established our capability to go to moon and even the interplanetary. So we need to understand this entire ecosystem. It's not the standalone only ISRO or ISRO's other subdivisions or the startups. There's a whole nation is involved. And we need to understand that how to make them even further more involved. So National Space Day give us an opportunity to link in those everyone, especially to the students, to understand why we celebrate it. We need to talk about Vikram Sarabhai, the father of National Space, Indian space. We need to talk about those people who have contributed enormous to take India to the next level. We need to talk about our success stories, and we need to talk about those things, the events like these, National Space Day. As I said in my initially, that we have to target those young minds in those special times when we have a success, we have an event. See, solar eclipse. I think Dr. Sachin said about solar eclipse, they actually did a marvelous, this commercial flight. And maybe Dr. Sachin will be knowing that from beginning, we had actually, we did the same thing, but with Indian Air Force. I was in AN-32 aircraft, and this, this entire rank is open in front of me at 25,000 feet, and we chased it. Now, we did not for our own glory, but we actually shared this entire thing, entire journey, the data. It was live telecast by the Doordarshan, and we have millions of students which were linked up with us. So this is what is important. We need to have this aspiration, with us, especially the aspiration of the students. Their motivation. See, they will be motivated when they see the success. We should be able to talk about those success stories in a more, understandable way. And also we need to talk about those people who have given us success. So this is what the Space Day is all about. Yeah.
Yes, we deeply appreciate the wealth of knowledge and experience, you shared with us today. So I would say to all the panelists, your insights were truly enlightening. So today we explored how these achievements have paved the way of new opportunities, especially for our youth who dream of reaching to the stars and discuss the career possibilities in space sciences. So the impact of space technology in our daily lives and what the future holds for Indian space exploration. Now, coming to the Q&A segment, dear esteemed panelists and our attendees, we have received several questions from our audience that we are eager to address. To start with, Tariq, our first question, I guess it would be comfortable if you would be raising the hands and I'll straight take the questions to that particular panelist. So the first question coming from the student named Vansh N. Agar from LT College of Engineering in Hyderabad. The question is, why ISRO conducted the relaunch of lander of Chandrayaan 3 after it landed on the surface of the moon? So, I guess I'll pass my question to Brahmastra Aerospace, yes, Dr. Kupusamy, Professor Kupusamy. So I hope you can answer the question.
Could I have the question again, please?
Yes, sure. The question is, why ISRO conducted the relaunch of lander of Chandrayaan 3 after it landed on the surface of the moon?
It is because of on Chandrayaan 2, what happened is we sent our lander in a box where we landed, where the lander is working, but the box has not opened. So that's why we sent the Chandrayaan 3 with a lander under a robot. Sorry, as the Chandrayaan 3 launched very well, it is succeeded in a very better way.
Okay, great. So I guess we have Dr. Sachin Bhago also to make this discussion more clear.
Yeah, I think, on a national stage day when we are celebrating our landing on the moon, when we became the first nation to land a lander on the moon, this question is really important and, needs to be answered the way it has to be because this is the feat that we achieved. We were not able to land our lander in the second mission to called Chandrayaan 2. We just had an orbiter and our lander was not successful and we got successful in third attempt Chandrayaan 3. We had a lander and then we had Pragyan rover which actually touched the moon and we were able to walk on moon and that is the reason we are celebrating. So people also need to understand why it is so important. Moon is now the next destination to which all nations are looking at. And if a nation is taking space missions or interplanetary missions, there are 6 stages. First is flyby, then orbiter, then you have a impactor, and then you have a lander, and then you have a return mission, and then you have a moon mission. Now, if you see that ISRO was just a child, it was just born in 1959 when some other nation, because of the Cold War, had already landed people on the moon. So it was just taking birth when people had landed on the moon, and we have so nicely covered that gap. We have just mitigated the difference between the two nations, the two top nations, by landing our lander on the moon just in a period of 55 years. That's amazing, and that is the reason we are celebrating it. And we are the nation who actually discovered there was water on the moon. See, people have landed on the moon, and there is no science yet, no papers published yet. Though India was the second one to publish the paper, as Professor Sandeep was talking about,
Attention everyone. If any one of you wants to ask question regarding whatever was shown here, then they may proceed to do so. To the scientist, it's a live session. So if you have any questions regarding that, you can ask the scientist of ISRO right now. Any questions to the scientist? Anyone? No questions? Just say yes or no. Do you have any questions or not?
क्वेश्चन पूछना है चेक Question is, how do you handle any malfunction? Am I audible?
Nicely done. Question is, how do you handle any malfunction during landing on moon, as everything is pre-calculated and it's all happening so fast? Okay? How do you handle any malfunction during landing on moon, as everything is pre-calculated and it's all happening so fast? Written? As everything is happening so fast. Done.
If you have Apple phone in your hands, and that has a wonderful technology of taking regular pictures, continuous pictures, and sketching them. We have done this now with telescopes, so it has now become possible that I can put up a telescope even in Delhi and enjoy deep sky objects with a particular telescope that stacks online images. Now, one thing that you have to understand, whatever light pollution, however you increase, as soon as I cross 1500 meters, that is the first layer of the clouds where it is formed, and I set up an observatory on a height, there is no problem with the light pollution, even if the light pollution is directly below me, because the reflecting medium, which is the cloud, is lesser. So, you can put up observatories. We have an observatory at Balvantray, which is one of the top places in all the one of the top places, one of the highest places to have observability on, and there is a huge possibility of putting up observatories. On one hand, where light pollution is bringing these problems, there is a regular solution coming from technology as well as strategic location of observatories, and that is how the research can go on. Telescope is always one of the oldest remote sensing devices and one of the devices that makes everybody interested in it. So I'm sure observations will go on. Then infrared telescopes are next in thing, and we know, as Dr. Sandeep was talking about James Webb telescope, it is a possibility. And finally, it is the best to put a telescope in space. Just take that to International Space Station. We are going to have our own space station. Even a small telescope can do wonderful discoveries. We already know about L1 and L2 points, so there are a lot of possibilities for telescopes. I don't think that anything problematic will happen. And I would like to invite Dr. Vidya, because he does wonderful work with telescopes. He can add to what I have already answered.
So, Dr. Vidya, do you want to add something to the views shared by Dr. Sajjan Havasar?
Well, it certainly is true that the students have access to a telescope, particularly the internet. The idea of putting one on the space station is something that never occurred to me, and that would be quite exciting. There are also telescope networks around the world that are integrated. I forgot the name of the one that does this, but there's an organization. iTelescopes that are integrated, and so they're collecting data from all areas of the globe, and so they can take advantage of good weather in one area and integrate those observations into single observations or composite observations that they wouldn't be able to if they have height, they have significant light pollution or atmospheric conditions that are interfering on a particular area.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Patrick, for sharing your, insights and views and for making the audience more clear about the questions raised by them. So the next question is from Stuti Bhatia, and she's from Hansraj College. And this question, I hope, will be better if answered by Ms. Lakshmi, because this question is, how do you see women contributing to the space sector? So it would be great, Lakshmi ma'am, if you can share your views. Being a female and how you can empower women, or the question stating that how women can contribute to the space sector.
Thank you, Neha. This is a very relevant question because India has people participating in conversation and all the sector, including space. I don't believe. Our Ministry of Earth Sciences have this space station at, I mean, station at the Antarctica for advancing education. And scientists who stayed in these stations, Bharati station, for 6 months, and they come back with positive that they never face any discrimination or any practical problem when they are stayed at the Bharati station. So similarly, space also is an area where women can contribute a lot and they have been doing. Have you seen the composition of the Chandrayaan team? Because most of the scientists who contributed their life in those teams are women. And we do have a rich the repository of women power in the scientific sector. And this trend is going to increase but not decrease. And scholarship scheme, Vidya, schemes, where we pick up children, girls, when they are young in their school, the middle school or upper primary school, and we start doing, we provide them training, people go and train them, and I mean, we have a national innovation foundation, which trains these people in innovation. Whenever I frequently visit these innovators and discuss with them, I find a lot of women worldwide are very actively involved because government of India has given special policies and incentives to women. We have schemes through which we fund children's education in STEM programs. We have a separate wing in the list.
Thank you.
Okay, so may I
Attention everyone, we have a short quiz for you. Pay attention to the quiz masters, Anshika and Priyansh Sharma.
So your first question is, how old is the universe? Any answers? We,
This state proved the quote by Chris Hunt that exploration is not about finding new lands, but discovering new ways of understanding our place in the universe. Our event would be incomplete without hearing one of the leading voices from our school. Let's extend a hearty welcome to Principal Ma'am to share some experiences and knowledges with us. Our event would be incomplete without hearing from one of the leading voices of our school. Let's extend a hearty welcome to Vice Principal Ma'am who will share her thoughts and experience with us.
A very warm afternoon to each one present here. And I wish you all the very best on the National Space Day. This is National Space Day. Children, the dream of India started very early, just after the independence. And this dream, what we achieved, the launching of Chandrayaan 3 last year, it started way back in 1950s. Last year, on the same day, the nation united to watch the mission Chandrayaan 3. How many of you watched on national TV? I think all of us. It was in the evening.
Ma'am, in the same auditorium.
I was coming to it. And the very next day, when we shared our experience that how elated we were, all the Indians all over the world stayed put together in front of the TV to watch us achieving it. Principal ma'am said, we also watched together in the school at 6 p.m. That's what you said, at around 6 p.m. So this is how it unites the country. And how many of you, if I ask you, have seen rocket boys? Only one boy. Children, I will recommend all of you. I know you all are very well aware of digital platform. Sony Live Originals has Rocket Boys. If you watch that series, you will understand that how far we have come from where we started. And it is this day that we should remember the pioneer space scientist Vikram Sarabhai, Dr. Homi Bhawan, Dr. Abdul Kalam. The school was fortunate to receive him as a guest in this auditorium, children. Dr. Abdul Kalam, he addressed the children. He shared his experience with children like you way back in 2008, 2005, and sir was sitting in the stage. On the stage, his arrangement was made, and slowly he came down and sat here. And this is the wisdom we learn from him. He sat here with the children and shared his experience with them. Children, Vikram Sarabhai, the space scientist, when he associated himself with his very dear friend Dr. Homi Bhawan, they brought money from their own homes, sold their own items of books, telescopes to fund what we call as ISRO today. And I think all of you know that you need a huge space to launch rockets and other things. And the space from where it is launched, the rocket, first rocket, the Chandrayaan Mission 3-2 is from Sriharikota, Andhra Pradesh. They built it brick by brick themselves. And this, assignment of the first rocket was given to their junior, Dr. Abdul Kalam. And I think all of you are aware that he took part by part the pieces of rock on his cycle. That is how the dreams start. And when we celebrate the launch and the successful launch of Chandrayaan 3, and this day we are celebrating as the maiden, the first National Space Day, our school children had gone to Bharat Mandapam to celebrate together with the President of India. All the, the children, the people of the country are united together to celebrate this day. ISRO is ready with the Chandrayaan 4 and 5. The missions are ready, children. So we need to be futuristic in our vision. We need to see the future and plan things in a way that the day we are celebrating, the 10 years down the line, we should be ready with our vision. And all these young children, in the auditorium today. As we move back from here with the sweet memories, we should remember the great scientists we had in our country, their dreams bit by bit, what they had done, that we have come to this position to celebrate this day. Children, as we were sitting in the director's office yesterday, second shift children, some of them had drawn beautiful, the posters and the sketches of the ISRO chairman S. Somanath. And how elated were they when he himself signed it with his autograph. And I will request ma'am to share with all of you that he personally signed his sketch. And how the child was so excited that ma'am, I want to show this to all, because these are, the greatest gifts that you possess in your life. So, the future citizens of the country today, I hope that you carry the legacy forward. Thank you.
Good afternoon, students. Do we have Ayan, Paris and Ayush Ranjan over here? They were supposed to come up. अच्छा हमारे वो बच्चे आ गए हैं, those who were there, with the President of India today. They come back from Bharat Mandapam. Seema ma'am, do you have Madhura ma'am? Just give her a call. Well, children, Vice Principal ma'am has beautifully elaborated, how the dream started and how a former President of India and the famously renowned missile man of India, who's fondly called as and addressed as Abdul Kalam ji, he was here in this same auditorium. You were not even born at that point of time. So this is how little dreams start. And last year, on the same day, when, because it happened in the evening, so the second shift children were fortunate, to have been here and witnessed it live. It was indeed an elated feeling, and on the same day, the Space Club of our school was born. So how many of you are the founder members of the Space Club of our school? Is there any member sitting over here? Good. I can see few hands over there. But then I think, something has come to, a halt. So again, all of you, get together and take it forward. Activities are being organized, because there is no point, observing or celebrating any day if we don't understand the spirit behind and we don't learn, we don't get inspired. If you just read the history, the entire background, the biographies of all the great scientists, and like ma'am just now, told you all, that how they started from such a humble beginning, the national level organization, which we see today came up. So it was the efforts of them, they did all the groundwork. So you all are also very, very good, and some of you maybe are the future scientists of this country. The scientists in the making, I would say. So take, something, today when you walk out of the auditorium, all those who are sitting here, aspiring for, your careers in science after completing your 12th standard. So give it a thought, a deep thought, do something, create something, innovate something. That is actually the real learning. Otherwise, it will be just an eyewash, or we will say that it's a mere observance, an activity being conducted for the students because it was a compliance to be ensured, that we all sat over here and we witnessed, we watched something, and when they just, walked out of the auditorium,
and forgotten forever? No. Please. So next when we meet, we have bought telescopes also. And there are students who've been taking, special permission was also granted to a student to take the telescope home. The child was so enthusiastic about it. So let us have that curiosity in all of us. We are planning, we are just looking forward to some suitable weather and climatic conditions, and you must have heard here itself that it's very difficult, in Delhi to see the stars. You have to go out of Delhi to witness the clear sky and see the stars in the proper manner. So come up with your ideas. The proposal should come from you. We were planning of one night actually, sort of camp in the school itself. But till date, we have not been able to plan out because the climatic conditions are not favorable. So now I want you all those who are the members of the Space Club and all those who after, witnessing everything here in the auditorium, join the Space Club. To come up with such proposals, to come up with certain activities. You are more informed than our children. You are much ahead of us. And you all are there who can make, the impossible possible. And I would really end up conclude over here, which I often quote, whenever I'm talking to my children. That there was a time when we were told the sky is the limit. But now, no. Even sky is not the limit. So get up, reach for the stars and create your own constellation. All the best and God bless you all. And a welcome hand to those group of students. Come in front, children. Our 12A and B students, they have come back from Bharat Mandapam. They all were here at 6:15 in the morning. 6:34 their bus started. And is there anyone who would like to share anything? Any one of you? Any one of you would like to share? How was your experience today? See? None of them.
Good afternoon to all. I am Aryan from class 12A, Vice President of Space Club, BMV. So it was a great feeling there. Like we were sharing same room with our Honorable President of India and ISRO Chief, Mr. S. Somnath. And there बहुत सारी चीजें हमने देखी like the vision of Mr. Narendra Modi 2047 में स्पेस प्रोग्राम से वो कहाँ तक होंगे लाइक उन्होंने बताया कि until 2035 हमारे पास खुद का एक स्पेस स्टेशन होगा लाइक अदर सुपर पावर्स लाइक यूएसए हमारे पास अपना भी स्पेस स्टेशन होगा जिससे हम खुद की कम्युनिकेशन एंड ऑल लाइक एक अच्छे लेवल पे बूस्ट कर पाएंगे और वहाँ पे बहुत सारी चीज़ें एग्जीबिशंस थे लाइक वहाँ पे हमने सैटेलाइट के प्रोटोटाइप देखे सैटेलाइट के इंजन्स देखे लाइक वो कैसे वर्क करते हैं एंड वहाँ का ऑरा भी बहुत अच्छा था लाइक वहाँ पे सारे लाइक एजुकेटेड एंड स्पेस रिलेटेड चीज़ें ही थी तो लाइक वहाँ पे हमने अच्छी चीज़ें एक्सपीरियंस करी और
एंड हमारे जो मिनिस्टर ऑफ स्टेट थे मिस्टर जितेंद्र उन्होंने भी बताया था कि लाइक इंडिया पहला वो नेशन होगा जो कि स्पेस में जितना भी एक्स्ट्रा डिब्री है लाइक पुरानी सैटेलाइट जो वर्क नहीं कर रही वो भी लाइक वापस आने का सबसे पहला स्टेप इंडिया ही लेगा
लाइक अगर इसको कंक्लूड करूँ तो लाइक जैसे गार्बेज हमारे अर्थ पे होता है वैसे स्पेस में भी होता है. नो कंट्री इज लुकिंग फॉर दैट. तो इंडिया ने इनिशिएटिव लिया है कि स्पेस भी क्लीन होना चाहिए क्योंकि हम स्पेस को अगर नॉर्मल अर्थ की तरह ट्रीट करें तो वो भी पॉल्यूट हो जाएगा. तो दैट्स एन इनिशिएटिव और इट वाज अ ग्रेट एक्सपीरियंस. ग्रेटफुल फॉर आवर टीचर्स एंड एवरीवन who sent us there. Thank you so much.
गुड मॉर्निंग एवरीवन. वहाँ पे इको सिस्टम के लिए काफ़ी चीज़ें नई उन्होंने ऑर्गेनाइज करी है कि जो फिशिंग के लिए फिशरमैन के लिए काफ़ी इनोवेटिव था कि उन्हें प्रॉपर लोकेशन उनके फ़ोन पे टैग दिए जाते हैं कि उन्हें कहाँ पे फिशिंग करनी है और कौन सा एरिया उन्हें दिया जाता है पर्टिकुलर न्यूना फिश अभी नई नई गवर्नमेंट ने अनाउंस करा है. तो वो भी मैंने बता रहे हैं कि जो भी सुनामी जो भी नेचुरल वाटर रिलेटेड डिजास्टर है उसके लिए भी उन्हें बताया जाता है.
So that's all we experienced there. Thank you so much.
What do you do in your spacecraft?
So we have two telescopes of different magnification powers. So we decided to have a night stay. We discussed with ma'am about that. So we will organize a night stay in school and observe moon, different stars. लाइक स्काई में मैम ने बताया कि दिल्ली का स्काई क्लियर नहीं है वरना हम मॉर्निंग स्टार लाइक वीनस भी देख सकते थे यहाँ पे. पर सिंस स्काई क्लियर है तो हम मैक्स टू मैक्स मून एंड सम स्टार्स भी ऑब्जर्व कर पाएंगे. एंड कोई कंपटीशन या फिर कोई विजिट होगा तो
We have these four students over here. Come. These four students, they've been attending 4 days workshop in Nehru Planetarium. Okay. And Ayush Ranjan, who made the sketch, Saksham, where is Saksham? See, ISRO chairman sketch made by one of our own students, Saksham. Original sketch signed in original by ISRO chairman. And Ayush was, I can't express his feelings because, till late in the evening also he was like that, ma'am, it's a dream come true for me, that it was my childhood dream to meet the ISRO chairman. And they all were children, Ayan Baris and Ayush, they both had gone on the final day and there was a treasure hunt and they successfully completed that also. And those who had actually qualified, they only got these caps, ISRO caps. Official ISRO caps. You want to share something? He's still now, that ma'am, I cannot express my feelings. He's so elated and probably is not able to, come out of it also. See, that is the achievement. It's a childhood dream, ma'am. And he was that time, he was like, he froze to the point. And then, our student, he literally pushed them that it was your dream, please go ahead. This is the teamwork. He didn't go forward to meet the chairman because he knew he valued his friend's dream, so he pushed them. ऐसे ही ना? तो ये जज्बा होता है बेटा, एक जुनून होता है, it's a passion. And when you are passionate about